Formerly suicidal redditors, what's something that kept you alive a little while longer and helped you to get through the dark times in your lives? Honestly, the fact that I couldn't think of a reliable, painless way to do it. The plan was to sit in my car in the garage with the car windows down, a big glass of my favorite whiskey and some nice music and let myself drift away. Problem being, when I researched how long this would take, I discovered the carbon monoxide output of more modern cars is too low for this to really work. My car was too recent to be of any use. Real panic set in when I learned this. I felt more trapped than ever. Weed, cigarettes and Lexapro. I want to live long enough to fuck the rich. The hope that I will eventually get my happily ever after. After 5 failed attempts, I'm glad I'm still here today. I don't have my happily ever after yet, but since I'm in a better mental state now, I know it'll happen one day. My little brother. He's 8, right now, and we're so close. He has autism, and breaks down easily, so all those times I've thought about taking those pills, I've thought about him missing me. Him going to my room, to see it empty, remembering I'm gone. I can't do that to him. If I'm dead we can't get back together. Then she proceeded to make me wait 3 weeks on a break only to pick a guy I thought was a friend over me after 2.5 years of a relationship that most people would call perfect. Came out of nowhere and I almost ended it day 1 of the break. That was about 2 months ago and now I get to say fuck her and there's nothing anyone can do about it. Gun to my head and all I could think of in that moment was my daughter. On its own, the feeling of suicide seemed so hard to not go through with. But the notion of how my daughter would feel finding out, how she would feel a year from then, how she'd feel her whole life, that made it impossible for me to go through with it at the same time. Today I'm as happy with my life as most people and very grateful that my daughter's got a great loving dad in her life. Citalopram and bupropion. And the responsibility of being a mother to young children. Pictures of me as a kid help me. I look at old pictures of me when I was thinking about doing it and I think, look at that guy, he fought so hard and managed to survive, I'm going to stick around for him. So far, so good. I failed at it. I cut up my wrists and my neck with a utility knife. I lay there and bled for a while but not enough. Somehow I managed to not hit anything vital other than nicking a tendon. I laid there for about half an hour before finally accepting that the desired result wasn't happening and realizing I damaged myself as much as I was willing to. That shit hurt. Ended up driving myself to the ER. I'd broken my phone so I couldn't chicken out. Spent a few days in the suicide ward. Having to face my loving mother and explain it to her was pretty sobering. From there it was therapy and, primarily, medication that kept me even. Got a dog. Suddenly, I had a precious little thing that depended on me for survival. And it forced me outside when I had to let him out to piss and shit. I figure that there's nothing better to do. Like if the other option is to cease existing, I might as well just exist and see what happens. I had a cat that I knew that my ex would kill if I died. That cat was with me for 7 years, 6 years without my ex around. She lived long enough for me to find happiness and strength to survive. To escape my life I created my own world. After a while I crafted a story and now I feel like it would be a waste to not write it. My own sheer willpower and defiance of being defeated. I'm in a constant cycle of losing my mind, then I drink a mana potion and suddenly I feel like trying again, tomorrow. Lol. Knowing my dog would miss me. Cat. Mainly my younger sister, BC. I knew she wouldn't understand why I was gone. But my pets have really helped too. They depend on me to live and I want them to live long, happy lives. So I gotta stick around for them. My pup, may she forever have unlimited scritches and zoomies on the other side of the rainbow bridge. In fact, I'm trying to think of something cool for a tattoo to commemorate her. My sister. When everyone else had left me in the dust, she stayed back and helped me through it. I feel like dog shit for not just speaking up and getting a therapist or something, and I can't imagine the pressure it put on her. Maybe I'm just overreacting and there are a few people that would actually be worse off if I did it are the only reason I made it through all that. Then I quit the job that made my life feel meaningless, stopped trying to catch up with people that wouldn't give the time in return, quit social media, started uni, and saved up enough money to buy an engagement ring for my partner. That's how I cured my depression and suicidal thoughts. Ayahuasca. My cats. They showed me the love that I needed after my ex-wife and I broke up and kept me going through the nights. I still am and nobody knows. They think I'm always happy and don't have problems. The thing that is still keeping me alive is the thought of my friends having to go through the stuff we're dealing with and I won't be there beside them to comfort them and give them advices. P.S. I am ready to go. I've already got the letters ready but I know now is not the time. Smiles. So the way I look at this, and I have had some really shitty moments in my life to the point where suicide was almost an option. But in those moments I would look at things and see how shitty things were, but then I would have clarity and realize that life isn't always sunshine and rainbows. And it takes the shitty moments in life to realize and fully experience the amazing things in life. For example, if everything was always perfect and you were always happy, then you would have no understanding of happiness. I don't know if I said that well, but I guess in short it takes the bad moments to appreciate the good moments, and I would do life all over again exactly the same way I did before just to experience those amazing moments one more time. My dog Macy. I was going to drive my car off a bridge or something, but instead decided to drive home and see my dog Macy. She gave me a happy little hug. I took her in my car just so I could cuddle with her. She was so happy. And that made me happy. I didn't want to die anymore. She saved my life. This may sound trite compared to some of the other answers here, but watching comedy shows on Hulu and Netflix really helped me get outside my head sometimes and remember not all of life was so heavy and serious. Also, in order to keep from feeling useless, I'd bake big dishes of macaroni and cheese or beef stew and drop it off at my favorite local business. The warm reception they gave me every time was enough to make me feel like my life was worth living another day. LSD. My dog, who is like a lifeline when another wave of depression hits. I know I still have to get up and feed her, and play with her, because she's counting on me to take care of her. Plus, she knows when I'm having a bad time, and always seems to know just when to play or relax to get me at least back to normal. I know a lot of people see their animals as that last thing to hold on to keep from actually going through with it, and man, I love my dog even more knowing she's taking care of me as much as I take care of her. If nothing I do matters, then I can do whatever the fuck I want. Now I'm trying to live the way I want for myself. This is probably going to get buried, but fuck it. Music, specifically the Blue Scholars, Common Market, and the Moderates, got me through. I would listen to some combination of No Rest for the Weary, Blue Scholars, Swell and Winter Takes All, Common Market, and Strange Town from the Moderates for hours on end sometimes, and that somehow kept me from a proverbial ledge some nights. It saved my life, and I've told the DJ for the Blue Scholars and Common Market as much when I met him last year. I'd tell the Moderates too should touring and concerts become a regular thing again. Edit, a letter. Math. The probability that everything came together in such a way to form the person you are right now is ridiculous. There will never be another person with your same genetic makeup, experience, disposition, etc. The possibility/probability that things will get better or just change goes to zero if you are dead. I live in a world of possibilities. I can't go into detail BC, I don't want to, but my dogs, I don't want them to just wonder. I can't let that happen, and I just didn't know how to end it in a clean way that works, that's painless. My daughter. Simply put, I struggle daily with those dark thoughts I had. They never, ever leave you once they manifest. Part of recovery is accepting that you'll never truly be free of the demons that pull you to where they live. The trick is to find your ladder or your reason. My daughter became mine. Without her, I'm gone, I think. My entire reason for being is to make her life everything mine wasn't. I lost my job, my girlfriend, because she wanted me to stop seeing my daughter, my friends, my house and my self-respect. I was then told by my ex I'd never see my daughter again because I couldn't afford the child's support. For almost 2 weeks I hit the bottom. No eating, barely sleeping, I hit the complete melancholy stage. Didn't care if I lived or died. I was just existing. I'd made my plan, I wrote my note and I was ready to go that night. I'm quite a resolute person, so when I decide something it happens. Randomly, my ex came over and said my daughter had been begging to see me, she was 4 at the time, so she went off and left her with me. Those few hours I knew were my last with her. I couldn't show her how upset I was, so the tears and general sadness were done when she wasn't watching. When my ex came back to take her home, she threw her arms around me and said, "I'm not leaving my daddy." I broke. Right there. Tears filling my eyes even now remembering that moment of just pure love. She knew, deep down, and it was her way of stopping whatever I had planned. My ex left her for the night. We had a sleepover on the living room floor. As I was being evicted, most of the furniture had been taken by the ex who asked me to stop seeing my daughter, not the mother of my daughter, and as such we had a few blankets, the TV and some DVDs. I think we watched Bolt 2 or 3 times that night. She fell asleep cuddling me. I knew then I couldn't do it. Not while she was alive. It's been 10 years, like I said, I struggle daily with the thoughts. I've made my life a hell of a lot better. People might be envious of my life now. But I often think the world would be better off without me, but not her. While I'm here it's my job to make her the best person she can be. To have the role model I never did. To never want for anything like I did. If anyone is struggling, please message me. I'm no professional, but I'll do what I can. I've been there. I know the pain. It does get better. I know.